Hello, good morning, and welcome to Morning Brew on Politics Social. Remember, it's the 5th of November, 2025. Welcome one, welcome all into the chat. If you'd like to join our friends in the chat, all you need to do is hit the subscribe button, wait for a few moments, and then all will be good. You'll be able to join in. Did the networks call it at 3 a.m.? Yep, they called it pretty early. We waited. Those of you who stayed up last night with me, we waited till 5. Well, we waited about 4:30 for Mamdani's speech. But yeah, that's it, man. That was just amazing. That was a clean sweep for the Democrats, a complete and utter electoral repudiation of Trump and everything he stands for last night across America. The American people took one look at Trump's second term and said, fuck no. And the emphasis here really has to be on the symbolism. This is a midterm. Okay, so the real midterms aren't for a year until this time next year. So this is a midterm. These are little elections caused by people resigning or by people dying, or by whatever, or by redistricting needing to be done, or whatever. This, this is fantastic. This is, usually in the midterms, and these are midterms. The incumbents, whoever's in charge at the time, usually takes a shellacking, which is a expression the Americans like to use. But this just turned into a humiliation kink for Donald Trump. This is humiliation showcase. This is a humiliation circus for that orange twat. This wasn't a blue trickle. This was a blue tsunami. This was the voters just screaming at Trump, stop doing what you're doing. We hate this. We hate this. We hate this. It turns out, if you don't have, Elon Musk rigging the election for you, you don't win. Funny that. And calling people communist lunatics in order to try and derail their unstoppable rise is just not one of those things that always works. I mean, it might work some of the time, but there you go. The term is off-year elections, says Miss Paula Thomas. Well, I'm going to call them the midterms because it's the halfway point between the last election and the next proper election. It's exactly the midway point. So I'm going to call them the midterms. Can't stop me. And the timing of it was just wonderful because, it has been a year today since election day when Trump was re-elected, which was depressing because Trump has now dominated our headlines for 10 years. 10 freaking years. Just some of the shit that went down last night. Every single county in Virginia turned blue. Every single one went blue. Well, it didn't necessarily have a blue majority in every county, but they all shifted towards the Democrats. So even places where the baddies won by 63, there was still a 5% swing towards the Democrats. This is mirrored across the country. The Republicans are going to get wiped out in next year's midterms. So there's a bit of danger here in case Trump decides that he's not going to allow midterms to take place. But just to go through what happened last night, quickly. Proposition 50 won in California. That means they can redistrict the state in order to muscle out 5 Republican seats for the House of Representatives. The Virginia Dems, they flipped the governorship. Also, the lieutenant governor, I think the LG, and the attorney general, and they gained in the House there in Virginia. The Dems won in New Jersey for the governorship, the gubernatorial elections. Mamdani won in impressive style. Over 50% of the vote in New York. Over 1 million people voted for him. The Pennsylvania Dems won in the Supreme Court. A vote restricting measure in Maine lost. That was going to be the Trump Republican voter suppression measure. Didn't win. Krasner and Bragg won. JD's half brother lost, and the Georgia Democrats flipped to statewide officers, and the Democrats are now leading to flip so many local officers as well. It is just across the board. The Republicans are getting crushed. They are going to not be the happiest of bunnies this morning, which is funny because I am the happiest of bunnies. I'm very glad this has happened. This has given me a little bit of hope again, especially the fact, look, if it had just been your bog standard Democrat standing in New York City, I wouldn't give a shit. You know, if it was Andrew Cuomo who was the candidate, I'd be like, oh, okay, he won. But Mamdani's something else. Mamdani is unapologetically socialist. He said it in his victory speech. He used the word socialist, a word that Americans have been drilled into them that this is a bad thing. Like being a socialist is a bad thing. Look at all the socialist countries that have succeeded. You know, there's none of them. Oh yeah, apart from Denmark, Sweden, Norway, Finland, Iceland, you know, Switzerland. I mean, all those poor, impoverished countries where nothing's going to plan. Yes, socialism doesn't mean what a lot of people seem to think it means. Anyway, I'm going to set up a confetti challenge because we should all be celebrating today, and just simply 10 super chats before the end of the show at 10 o'clock. I might do a little bit more. I might do a little bit more of the show if we get the confetti. But yeah, 10 super chats. We already got one in from Sid, which unfortunately won't count towards the confetti. You can't set it to 9. I want to be able to set it up to 9 or 7 or something. It's like 1, 5 or 10 and nothing in between. And unfortunately, we just got another super chat in, and that came in under the radar, so that doesn't count towards the target for some stupid reason. Sorry, I don't make the rules. I just live in this reality. But yeah, Sid, thank you very much for the £2 super chat. Mamdani, thumbs up, smiley face, and party time. And then we've got Ibizan there with $2. I see blue glimmer here in the US of A. Yeah. Socialism is coming. The socialists. Is that the English? Is that the British are coming? The British are coming. No. The socialists are coming. And then Francis Winrow, thank you very much with the £2 super chat there. Outstanding result. Yes, you're not wrong. It really is an outstanding result. Unfortunately, none of those super chats counted towards the goal. I think that's a bit rubbish. Sorry, everyone. Don't worry about the goal. Just I'll sort it so you get confetti later, whatever happens. Right. So the big one. New York City elects Zohran Mamdani as their 11th. Really, it's the 11th mayor of New York City. 34-year-old, second youngest ever, I think, to win New York City. He beat Cuomo twice, first in the primary, now in the general. Trump backed Cuomo, that was the kiss of death, I think. That was it. Confetti, says Veg Pie with a £2 super chat, which is the first one that's actually counted towards the bloody goal. So thank you very much, Veg Pie, for doing that. I think they'll start counting now. I think they have do they have like a minute where if you've started the process of sending a super chat, it doesn't let it go through? I don't know. It doesn't count for some reason. Mamdani's messaging was fucking brilliant and something that Labour in this country need to take, be aware of. Fortune favours the bold. I've always said this. I've always believed it. Okay? Just do just say the maddest shit that you can actually do. Okay? The maddest shit. Just dream for the people and say, I want to give you this, right? Even if you don't know that you are going to be able to give it to people, right? But what you're going to do is you're going to try. You are going to try your best, and you are going to say at every step of the way, I said I would give this to the people, And now you're getting in the way of me giving this to the people when I have a mandate because the people voted me in to do this thing. And no matter how mad it is, you should at some point be able to do something approximating the thing that you were trying to do. When I went to Lonely Planet with my idea to visit every country in the world without flying, I might have mentioned it, I didn't say, I want your help because otherwise I can't do this. I didn't say that. I could have done. I did need their help. You know, financially, a bit of wodge came in handy, I have to say, but it was only a little bit of wodge. I wanted them to come along, but I said, I am doing this anyway. I'm doing this with or without you. I am going to do this thing. I didn't know if I could do it, but I was going to give it my best bloody go. And then it got to the point where I had 17 countries left to go. Unfortunately, that was the time around where I lost my sister. And I was like, I've got to keep going. I've got to keep going. Not least to keep the promise to my sister before she died. I said, I'm going to keep going. She said, don't stop because of me. And then, also all the people who had helped me get to where I was. All the people who had helped me get to 184 countries at that point. I had told them I was going to go to every country in the world without flying. They had put me up for the night. They had put me on the right bus. They'd shared their lunch with me. The people had helped me in all these countries around the world. I'm not going to let them down. This is what you need to do. You need to be bold. You need to say, I am going to do this. And you get people behind you. You fire people up. And what Labour don't seem to understand in this country is like the dynamics of how to get people on side have not changed. But there are ways of doing it now that were not available in the past. You don't need to do it by getting on the front cover of the Sun fucking newspaper with your Norks out. That was the 1980s, lads. You don't need to do that anymore, all right? We have the internet. And Zohran knows that we have the internet, and he's used it to great effect. Absolutely tip-top effect. Even like his logo, Zohran for New York City. Fantastic. No notes. Looks fucking amazing. It speaks to his personality and who he is in just a font. That is bloody brilliant. Meanwhile, Labour are just flailing around like a bunch of idiots going, oh my God, Zach Polanski, well, he wants to take us out of NATO, doesn't he? To which Zach Polanski says, no, not going to do that. Okay, cool. Yeah, but he said that he was going to do that once. Yeah, you know what? People say stupid stuff. I don't care. I really couldn't give a fuck what people did 17 fucking years ago. Unless they, I don't know, committed a crime. I don't give a crap if when they were a teenager or when they were at university or when they were, they said something a bit rum. So what? I mean, this is now. And if they say, look, that was stupid me back in the past. If I could get a time machine, I'd go back and give myself a slap. That was a really stupid thing that I did. I apologise for any offence that I caused. I thought it was being funny or I thought it was being edgy. No, the right just write it off. The right forgive their side of absolutely fucking anything. But on the left, it's like, oh my God, quick, get the purity tests out. It's like the dripping the fucking, the dripping the indicator fluid onto my, oh my God, I've got to make sure they're absolutely pure, 100% unadulterated. They've never done anything wrong in the past, even slightly a bit rum. And the Labour are like, oh, we're going to attack the Greens. I'm like, that's not going to work, dickhead Labour, right? In the same way it didn't work for Trump with Mamdani, right? What you need to do, you can't beat them, join them. I'm not saying that Labour should join the Greens. I'm saying that they should join the whole, bold promises to change people's lives for the better. And then once you get into power, you say, well, we were told to do this thing by the electorate. So no matter how mad it is or how mad it seems, we're going to do it. Hence the NHS. Hence Brexit, I suppose. That's not a nice example, but it's an example. Vote for us and we'll do this really unsavory thing. That makes no sense whatsoever. That's going to be really bad for our country. I don't want you to do that. No, we've got a mandate. Got a mandate now to do the mighty mad thing. Ibizan, thank you very much for the $2 there. I've been a democratic socialist for 30 years here. Fantastic. Good on you, Ibizan. Thank you very much. And also Jolie, who's been a member for 2 months. Blue Wave, in the US of A. Awesome. Welcome. 2 months of being an awesome member. Mamdani focused relentlessly on what people gave a fuck about. He didn't go on about toilets and which toilets transgender people can piss in. He didn't go on and on about, taking things from disabled people. He didn't go on and on about asylum seekers and how they were coming over here committing crimes, even though they commit crimes at a much lower rate than native-born British people. He talked about rent freezes on stabilised flats. He talked about affordable housing, and it gave him a mandate to build. He has increased hate crime prevention funding. I said last night it was by 600%. Actually, it's by 800%. 800% in New York. This is why people of the Jewish faith got behind him. Not all of them by any means, but a lot did. This is a state where you think, if the Christians aren't going to go for him and the Muslims, the Jews aren't going to go for him, these different blocks are not going to go for him, and they did. Or at least they didn't turn against him in sufficient numbers that could actually knock him off his perch. He got over 50% of the vote in a three-way race. That's really remarkable. That is really, really remarkable. If it had just been a two-way race, he probably would have won by 60%. 60-40. I have no doubt. And if, he hadn't had one arm tied behind his back by his dickhead Democrat colleagues, not really supporting him that much. I don't want to say that he's the person to vote for, says Barack Obama. And then you've got Chuck Schumer, that stupid old dinosaur. God, he's like fucking pedo Barney or something. He's there going, I don't want to do anything. And I'm like, can you get out the way for someone who might, Chuck? Hey, why don't you fuck off, Chuck? And you chuck off, you chuckle fuck. But there you go. And he's also talked, Mamdani's also talked about the free bus policy as a symbol of mobility and dignity. Great idea. Whenever you invest in public transport, you bring value to your area. You bring money and investment into your area. This has happened 100% of the times it has happened in history. The Industrial Revolution and the powerhouse behind that came about because people could move about. Why did people start trains? Well, they started down the road here, Stockton, Darlington. What was the reason for them to put a train track down and then have trains running along that train track? I'll tell you, the fucking mines, all right? The mines that were required to allow the Industrial Revolution to take place. If it hadn't been for transport and people being able to move around and goods being able to move around, fairly easily, easier than in the past, we would have not had an Industrial Revolution because the canals just were getting a little bit congested at this point and they were really fucking slow. You have public transportation, you have physical mobility, you have social mobility. You turbocharge your economy every time. Public transport, you want to see it as like the opposite of austerity. Austerity stifles innovation. I hate it when I hear these stupid mealy-mouthed motherfuckers who are all from public school and they all went to school together. It's a boarding college where they all wanked into a hat together, whatever they do in these places, right? In these cunt farms. Sorry, didn't mean to demonetize the chat there. But and not everyone who goes to one of these See You Next Tuesday farms turns out to be a See You Next Tuesday. Some very good friends of mine are See You Next Tuesdays. I mean, not See You Next Tuesday. They learned not to be. They decided not to be. But, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them who are, because they all went to this, posh school. And they're the ones going, hey, we're going to have austerity on tap. Oh, people need to manage budgets. They need to go. Do you want to see how many rich people go fucking bankrupt? Yeah, lots. Fucking lots. And then they have the gall to turn around to the rest of us and go, you just didn't know how to manage money. These are people who've never had to manage money in their lives because they have someone to manage the household budget because they can literally pay someone to do that. They pay someone who effectively pays themselves because they sort out all the bills. they have someone who does all the shopping for them, they wouldn't be seen dead in Sainsbury's or Waitrose or Asda or heaven forfend Aldi or Lidl. You know the type. And they have people who are making smart investments on their behalf. I think we should invest in tights. Tights, the war's going to come to an end and everyone's going to want tights, aren't they? Especially if your fan belt gives out on your car when you're travelling through a desert. Okay, yeah, we'll invest in tights, sir. And then they go off and they don't invest in tights because that's a terrible thing to invest in. And they invest in arms companies instead because they're always good. They'll bang for your buck, Jesus. Anyway, literally bang for you. Oh my God. Why this all matters, right, is that Mamdani won. A progressive, a democratic socialist won in a global city under direct attack from the sitting US President. Trump has threatened to pull federal funding if Mamdani won. Voters shrugged and said, yeah, all right, whatever, do it, do your worst. And one of the reasons why California and New York can be so brazen about this is they, like most of the states that vote for the Democrats, are actually net providers to the federal coffers. So if the Fed is going to say, well, we're not going to give you any money anymore, they can say, okay, well, we're not going to give you any money anymore. And New York will be quids in. Don't forget that, peeps. Don't forget that. Quids in. So, national significance here. We have the blueprint, literally, and a warning narrative, to the Republicans to change course, to get themselves. I was going to say pull themselves off the Trump cart, but that sounds disgusting. They need to stop following Trump around like a bad smell. Trump said, "Oh, the reason why they lost is because they weren't Trumpy enough." That's right. That's why they lost, Trump. He said, the reason why they lost is because Trump wasn't on the ballot. Because he sometimes refers to himself in the third person because he's a fucking weirdo like that. Okay, dickhead. Right. This is why. So are you going to be on the ballot in the midterms? Oh, no, you're not. Just saying. So, yeah. And there's a quote from AOC saying, Americans are appalled by what they're seeing from this administration. Boom. Shaka. Cuomo tried to return to power. He was a former governor, the son of a former governor as well. He tried to return like a discount Palpatine. And Trump gave him his fucking blessing. And New York got together. So absolutely fucking not, mate, you handsy bastard. You fucking sex pest. You're having none of this. Meanwhile, in Virginia, sorry, which kept me giggling all night. Because it's a bit close, isn't it? Abigail Spanberger. What a great name. Oh, my name is Abigail Spanberger. You can see like some Texas fucking twat turning up with his pearl-handled revolvers, They call me Spanberger. Anyway, Abigail Spanberger, the Democrat candidate for gubernatorial office, the governorship of Virginia. She won it and became the first female governor of Virginia, one of the 13 original colonies. It's been man. Keep going for a few more minutes. Man, woman. There you go. That's how it went. Awesome. Henrietta, thank you very much. What did you eat? Henrietta, thank you very much for the £10 super chat. Do you think we should have more police out in the community? Not authoritarian, but more a visible presence, saying hello, etc. seems an easy win to me. I agree. But here's the thing, right? I think that the police's powers should be not across the board, okay? So I think we should have community police officers who are not necessarily the same police officers who turn up when a crime has been committed, okay? So you're at a sort of lower level than an investigative, not an investigative, but a because that's a separate organisation. The detectives are a separate part of the police anyway, right? So they're plainclothes police officers who go around, with Macs and notebooks and go, okay, I'm going to just one more thing. I would like to see the police force separated into different things. We already have this. We have, community support officers, specials, essentially, who are volunteers, but more like that, where you have maybe you have the arrest power of a police officer. But anything other than that, you have to call in the police officers who can actually turn up and take them away in a car or whatever needs to be done. And there's ways of doing this. And one of the things I always think is like, some of the stuff that the police do, I think is fucking crazy. Like cars, like policing cars. Why do I need police? I need police to stop people committing crimes against me. I need police to stop people mugging me and breaking into my house and maybe stealing my car. But I don't need police to be telling me that my taillight's out. Why is a police officer doing that? That makes no sense to me at all. And so I would have a different branch of the police for traffic. And it's not a police officer is put on traffic duty because they've been a bad officer or whatever. I would like to see it where it's a completely separate thing. And they help you out. The big one for me is informing people that someone's died. I have no idea why the police do this, Henrietta. I have no idea at all why it's a fucking police officer who has to turn up to someone's house and tell them the worst news they'll ever get in their lives. No, it should be a trained counsellor. It should be a trained support worker who says, right, so this is me, this is how to get in touch with me. I am now your support worker on this. And I will liaise between you and the police, but you won't have to, deal with that. Deal with the horror of having two police officers come to your door to give you the worst news that you've ever had. Sorry to regret to inform you all that everyone you know and love has fucking cocked it. Anyway, so good day to you. And by the way, your tail light is out. The end of that. No. So yeah, I'd like to see more people with police-like powers on the streets, so there's a presence of police officers. I'd like there to be a village Bobby. I'd like to, suburbs around the country, a group of officers who are known in the community, in the suburb, that we know who are, in the same way that who your elected representatives are, your councillors, your MP for your area. We could do the same with the police. I'd be someone that you go to if you're having particular problems with crime, someone whose number you can text and say, listen, the kids are out on the fucking dirt bikes again. And he's okay. Or whatever needs to be done. That's just my dream, okay? I don't know if that's going to happen, but when people talk about defunding the police, it's kind of what they're talking about. It's not about, getting them to work for free or something like that. But at the moment, especially in America, the police are just going fucking crazy. They have far too much power. I mean, every single one of them's got a gun. They're given 2 weeks fucking training with a gun, and that's why over 1,200 people get shot dead every year by the goddamn police over there. PCSOs, special officers, yeah, more stuff like that. More stuff like that. I mean, it always blew my mind whenever I had any run-ins with the police, which was always, in this country at least, when I'd been a victim of a crime rather than a suspected perpetrator. And I just found it mad that the police officer would come round, a police officer, right, with the what are the kinky things called? The handcuffs, right? So they've got the handcuffs and they've got the radio and they've got their body armor on, police written across there, and they've got the tit on their head, and they turn up and knock their tit off their head because they're walking through a door. That must happen a lot if you're a police officer wearing a tit. And they sit down and they go, okay, we've got to make some notes, and they've got a little tiny fucking notebook, right? And they're going, so what time did the incident occur? And so it's and just to be sure that you weren't lending this person your car. I'm like, no, I'm lending someone my car, giving me keys. I don't get them to smash the fucking window and hotwire the bastard thing. Okay. And what were you wearing at the time? Oh, I was just running around naked with some body paint, a spear. Well, you were asking for it then, weren't you, Graham, to have your car robbed from outside your house? Anyway, so they're making these notes, and then I'm like, okay, cool. So they just spent half an hour in my house making fucking notes about my car, that was robbed, and then taken half a mile down the road because they couldn't get any further than that, because I had a fantastic little bit of immobilization technique that I had on my old Ford Fiesta, which was to make sure that one of the cables was a little bit loose. Anyway, so they finished it, and then it's like, I'm going to go down to the cop shop now. I'm going to write all this up, and I'm like, really? You're going to write it up? There's no staff to write this up. What the fuck? Why is a police officer writing this shit down? Why are they typing it up? You know it's going to be single fingers, don't you? Typing up the notes. Why don't they have someone who works for the police gives me a call, right? Don't have to come to my house. It's fine. I'm okay. I'm not all shaken up. I don't need the support. Right? Get on the phone and go, all right, tell me what happened. And I'm like, okay, I'll tell you what happened. And they record the conversation. That's it. That's it. And if that evidence needs to be used in a court of law, they've got a recording of what I actually said, not someone's notes that are then transcribed onto a computer by a police officer who spent all fucking morning, wasted the entire morning doing that shit. Come on. There's a more sensible way of doing this, right? Are you with me? Are you with me? Oh, look, we're getting off the point here. We're supposed to be talking about the US of A. We've had a win. Come on. Let's just bask. Let's just bask together like basking sharks in the wonderful glow of the fact that we actually won for a change. Even if it wasn't, the presidency, it does matter. It does matter. So Abigail Spanberger, first female governor of Virginia, biggest Democratic performance in terms of vote share in the state's modern history. She's a former CIA officer. Ooh, yes. And she's a moderate Democrat. She's nowhere near what Mamdani is. But she's now governor-elect, which is fantastic news. She won 61% of households tied to federal work, which means that Trump's purge of federal workers backfired, and the fact that the federal workers aren't getting paid at the moment because of the government shutdown, which has already claimed how many lives now? Last I saw was 7 lives in this horrific crash in America last night. Hello, why is this? Am I going mad? Oh yeah, 7 people. Yeah, 7 people killed in Kentucky, in Louisville. They probably say Louisville over there, don't they? Because they're weird like that. That was caused by the government shutdown, as far as I'm aware, because they've got rid of the air traffic control. Well, they haven't got rid of the air traffic controls. They're making them go in for no pay. And you can't even get money off, we can't get food now with food stamps either. So, it's really grim. It's really, really grim. Martin Harrow, you just summed up my partner's police interactions. I think it's absolutely mental. I don't know why we do it that way. Nick and Diff, my car was nicked in 2017. Police knew who it was, didn't give a toss, just an insurance job to them. It was essential work for me. Spent months on trains waiting to afford another car. Sorry about that, Nick. Yeah, like for people like us who rely on our cars for whatever reason, having your car robbed is pretty fucking devastating. And the police burglary, hardly any burglaries are solved, which is crazy in this day and age. You don't need a fucking hair, don't you? They caught the people who stole the crown jewels in France, didn't they? DNA evidence, strand of hair. They're going, ooh, look, a strand of hair. Yeah. They can get the people when they want to. Acro Dave, can't wait to see some of the US chat show hosts digging Trump over his loserdom. Seth Meyers and Stephen Colbert will have fun. Yes, I'm sure they will. You pronounced Louisville correctly the first time. Well, Julie, thank you for letting me know that. Jolie, sorry. Thank you, Jolie. I honestly, it's a bit buyer beware, isn't it, in the States? Because you got somewhere like Arkansas, and it just looks like Arkansas. And then when we try to explain it's Worcestershire, they're like, Worcestershire? I'm like, no, it's Worcestershire. Worcestershire. Like Jeeves and Worcester, shire. We don't say Shire, we say shire. Okay, that's the noise we make at the end of something that ends in the word Shire. In fact, Bilbo Baggins and Frodo didn't come from the Shire. They came from the Shire. I'll have you know. Anyway, ask Tolkien. Ask Tolkien. He'll have the answers. Anyway, so we've got also the narrative here in Virginia of competence over the culture war. Culture war will get you a flash in the pan, but at the end of the day, we need that competence, which Labour's got. I mean, Labour is fairly fucking competent. I know it's useless at messaging and useless at comms, but when it comes to competence, they look a lot more competent than the Tories. And every time they do something that makes them look incompetent, like they do something stupid like when Rachel Reeves filled out a form incorrectly, or Angela Rayner didn't pay the tax that she was supposed to pay on the stamp duty because she didn't think she had to. That really damages Labour a lot more than it ever damaged the Tories, because the Tories were incompetent. People knew they were incompetent. They knew they were a bunch of inbred toffs and they were going to fuck everything up. And they took that as read. And people see that with Trump and his mates. They're incompetent. They are just generally shit people who are shit at everything. They are useless human beings. I mean, in another life, they would have been thrown into some kind of, I don't know, institution for being so useless that they were a danger to society. But unfortunately, we don't live in that society anymore. So every time Labour do something that comes across as incompetent, it knocks a lot of the people who voted for them and supported them. I'm talking about separately to the, I don't know, war on trans people, which is just fucking weird. And it's just like, why are you even doing this? Mamdani gave a shout out to trans people last night in his acceptance speech. Is that what you call it? No, he didn't win an Oscar, Graham. In his winner's speech, he did give a shout out to the trans community when he was talking about different communities that make up New York. Ms. Paula Thomas, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. Graham, 1, you missed my earlier chat. 2, death notices delivered by plainclothes, especially trained family liaison officers. Oh, that's good. That's good, because maybe Paula, maybe I just know of this because it's never happened to me. Fortunately, touch wood. I just know it from the TV shows where it's just like an officer dressed up in actual uniform giving people that information. Yeah. So if they have changed that, then good. Then fucking good. But yeah, I think that there should be different parts of the police force and different people doing different specific jobs, instead of having one person who's trained as a police officer and they are being a security guard at football matches. They're pulling over cars for having a tail light out. They're giving death notices to people. They're eating food, I guess, and then making notes, typing up the notes, turning up in court to give evidence. Like, why? I don't know. Were you there? No. Okay, well, don't turn up in court then. Somebody's job it is to turn up in court. That can be their job. They're the people in the police who turn up in court. Don't waste the police officers' time. They've got better things to do, I'm pretty sure. Miss Paula Thomas, thank you for the other super chat, which I missed. Sorry, earlier. My main celebration came in 2017 when Danica Rome, who is trans, got into the Virginia House. Since last year, she's a state senator. That is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. No trans people in the House in the Palace of Westminster, in the House of Commons, or in the House of Lords. No trans people. Unfucking-believable. Trans people make up 1% of the population and make up 0% of the people in our parliament. It's a bit like in the male football league. No one seems to be gay. No one. Out of the 500 professional players who play at the top leagues, none of them. Professional players, none of them are gay. Absolutely none of them. Which seems a bit odd to me. It seems very odd to me. But there you go. Henrietta, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. My mum and dad used to write Worcestershire sauce on the shopping list so everyone could have a good laugh. Good times. Worcestershire. I mean, come on, that is a trap. It's like Chumney Warner. What's the other one? There's Chumney, which is spelled Tumoldendy, and St. John, which is pronounced St. John. But there's a really, really, really long one, isn't there? There's a which is Feather. What is it? It's Feathershore Stone or something like that. Oh, there's it. Featherstone. So it's spelt feather, StonHaugh. How do you pronounce Featherstone as a surname in Britain? Fanshawe. It's pronounced Fanshawe, motherfuckers. That's gonna fuck you up, isn't it? I mean, at least you get these British people, these fucking wankers, who go, oh God, here comes Siobhan. There's a B in the name. How could it be Siobhan when it's got a B in the name? And you're like, it's a different language, and they pronounce the letters differently for that different language, but it's consistent. It's consistent if you know the language. Whereas Fanshawe? Fanshawe? What the living fuck? Anyway, so thank you very much to George Ole for the 7th of the 10 super chats that we need. Is Reeves set to increase income taxes by up to 8%? No. Maybe for the super rich. Come on, do it. Do it. Do it to the super rich and say, oh, no, this isn't on people who are working. This is on people who are earning money in their sleep. While they're not working, they're earning money in their sleep. We've got to tax those motherfuckers because they're getting money for nothing and their chicks for free. I want my MTV. Apparently. Well, anyway, moving on. We've got New Jersey. Oh, talking about Spanberger. Also in Virginia, Jay Jones won his vote as well, despite his scandal. But he was kind of riding on the coattails of Spanberger. We kept on shouting spam last night. Spanberger. It's not got much spend in it. Didn't just win. She smashed the MAGA pinata. And, showered the suburbs in confetti and sweets and health insurance. Anyway, so in New Jersey, Mikie Sherrill smashed MAGA as well. Another female winner, another woman winning in New Jersey. Sherrill defeated Trump-endorsed Shitterelli. Yes, that's his name, Shitterelli. I don't think I'm pronouncing that wrong. I might be. Don't care. I'm going to call him Shitterelli. She absolutely fucking trounced him. She won by 60. She got 64% of the vote. He got 32% of the vote. She won by a third. She won by another fucking third, my friends. That is remarkable. The black vote went to Sherrill by 91%. Independents, she was up 7, and with the moderates, she got 58% of the vote. Shitterelli tried to distance himself from Trump while winking at MAGA, didn't fool the voters, and anti-Trump disgust was absolutely decisive. New Jersey took one look at Trump's slimy fingerprints all over Shitterelli, and I don't know, went for the political disinfectant. Quick, go and clean this grimy motherfucker up. He's been touched. He's been touched by the devil's touch, by the orange twat's touch. Anyway, so George only, thank you very much for the £2 super chat. I meant 2%. Sorry, George. Is she going to raise income tax by 2%? I don't think she will. I could be wrong. I could be right. As Johnny Rotten once sang when he wasn't a complete twat, which he now is. God, that makes it difficult to listen to the old records by PIL and the Sex Pistols. Anyway, the point is that I don't think she will for everyone. I think it's going to be the top rate of income tax is going to raise by 2%. You heard it here first, and I think that she might bring capital gains tax in line with income tax, which is a brilliant move. That's what she's to do, because capital gains is something that you and me are never going to really make, so whatever. What time did you stay up till in the end, Graham? Asked Alex. Thank you very much for the £5 super chat. The 9th of the 10th super chat, so one more super chat, my friend, and we get the confetti. Want to know what time I stayed up till? 5 o'clock. We went up till 5. And then we waited, even though we knew Mamdani had won. And at 4 o'clock, we knew that the Proposition 50 had gone through in California. And we just stayed up to watch Mamdani's winner's speech, which was absolutely blazing on all fucking fronts. He shouted his speech. He sounded like a man who didn't stumble over a single word, a man of conviction. a man who he's got a great script. He's got a great script writer. He's got a really good fucking script writer. Just came out all guns blazing, metaphorically, not in reality. And brilliant. It was fucking fantastic. It was like the kind of thing that you kind of wish that we will get from Keir Starmer, but unfortunately, and I know it's never going to happen, is it? Unfortunately for us, it's never going to happen because we have Roger Irrelevant in as our Prime Minister. Here he is, Roger Irrelevant, there being, irrelevant because reasons. Hi, Keir. How you doing? Oh, it's good. I'm very excited today. What are you excited about today, Keir? I'm excited about the fact that, we're going to put a 0.497% increase of the things that need increasing. Okay, cool. Thanks for that, Keir. Wow, I'm fired up. Don't know about you. Bye now. Super chat says George only. I hope George hasn't fallen off a cliff while dictating that. Thank you very much, and we got confetti. Woo! We did it. It's all good. It's all good. Okay, so let's move over now to California. Gavin Newsom pulls off a redistricting coup. The Proposition 50 passes mid-decade redistricting, which means that the Democrats will now gain 5 favourable House seats, a counterpunch to the GOP rigging in Texas, and the attempted rigging now in other states, which are red states. So all the red states are probably going to try and gerrymander the fuck out of everything. Now, the Republicans are better placed for redistricting, for gerrymandering, than the Democrats, because the Democrats, a lot of their places have actually got independent places. They've got independent boards that decide about redistricting to prevent gerrymandering, which is a real blight in America. It's a real problem over there. But that both parties have done in the past, but they were trying to move it more towards an independent body that would put together areas and say, right, this is an area that is a good mix, right? But no, they want areas that they know they're going to win, so they drew a line around it, and they make sure that when it could be 3 districts that went for the Republicans and 3 districts that went for the Democrats, they'll make sure that it's somehow 6 districts that all go for the Republicans, right? So they have the advantage there in the states that they control, and they control the governorship and controls the individual state parliaments in those respective states. However, here's the thing. If we see the kind of swing that we saw last night amongst voters across the board, it ain't gonna matter. They're gonna get wiped out. No matter how much they try and gerrymander, the Republicans are gonna get wiped out in the midterms. All good. I loved Mamdani's 4 words to Trump: turn the volume up. Yeah, didn't Trump he texted something like, it begins. Pete Dencart. I said morning at midnight and immediately fell asleep to the delicate sound of Graham's Scouse accent. Woke up at 3:30, not knowing what the heck was going on or who I was. I love that. I love it when you wake up and you don't know who you are, where you are, what year is it. You have to run down the street shaking someone, go, what's the date? And they say it's the 3rd of March. And they go, no, man, the year. Fun. Always fun. The problem with gerrymandering is you can be too clever by half, especially if you've gerrymandered to a fuck already. Yes, you're right. Labour has squandered all the goodwill that was given to them. I couldn't agree more, Nick and Diff. They totally have. People are disappointed, angry, infuriated, more reasons to hate them than I like them, and that's on them, sadly. It absolutely is. They've not been bold, they've not been decisive, they've not changed people's lives for the better, done some small things they could have done from the get-go that people would have gone, wow, that's really cool. Their biggest mistake, besides going after trans people and disabled people, and the winter fuel allowance debacle, right? That aside, not capping bus fares at £1.50. They should have done that. They should have fucking done that, because that's something that people notice every day. I know I argued with Phil about this. Phil, who doesn't leave the house, he's like, oh no, but no one notices the fucking bus fares. I noticed the bus fares. Yeah, but people have bus passes. I'm like, no, everyone has a bus pass. And if the price of the bus pass comes down, then you'll notice, won't you? You'll notice. You'll go, oh, it's £1.50. And you could have on your ticket, Transport for Britain. TFB, Transport for Britain, capping your price at £1.50 for a journey on a fucking bus. I find it absolutely ridiculous and abhorrent that I can be on a bus that's packed full of people, and there's enough, that would have enough money on it to run the bus service. But we have to charge everyone through the nose. It's not good. It's not good. We did want our politics to be boring again, but it's hard to be boring with screaming fascists all over the place. That's true. I didn't want it to be this boring. We're sick of the Tory drama. We thought Labour would be a safe pair of hands, says Nick and Diff. Yeah. And they've been absolutely shit at it. They've been absolutely remarkably shit at it. Anyway, so with the where are we? Oh yeah, the redistricting. God, redistricting. Restricting. Newsom said this is the election. He's called it the Election Rigging Response Act, and this is a bit of a national flex for Gavin Newsom. We've got some primary energy for 2028 going ahead, because it looks like Newsom might launch a bid to become president. And Trump said it was a giant scam. Bit in capital letters. Giant scam, he said. There's a band called Giant Sand. They're very good. They did a cover version of PJ Harvey's Desperate Kingdom of Love, which is one of the best cover versions of all time. I really recommend that you dig that out. But yeah, they're called Giant Sand, not Giant Scam. Thank you very much to SG. To celebrate, I'll be watching Mira Mandami's mum movie Mississippi Masala this weekend. Yes, Mandami's mum is a Hollywood film director, quite a celebrated one at that. So yes, check out Mississippi Masala. I've not seen it, but it sounds like it should be good. Bus is cheaper in London than anywhere. Yeah, Mr. Tisk, it's a fucking disgrace. They should be subsidising us, not the other way around. New York, We the People stats, 104,000 volunteers knocking on doors, phoning over 1.5 million people. That is fucking crazy. Labour's biggest mistake was boxing itself with stupid red lines. Well, I think they're going to go the way of the dinosaur, aren't they, in this budget? Yeah, we did say we weren't going to raise income tax for anyone. You shouldn't have said for anyone, mate. My box is off it. I'm predicting Gavin Newsom and Andy Bashir on the top ticket in 2028. I will hold you to that prediction, Liz. You may say in a few years' time, I predicted this, and I will give you a grand old Duke of York. No, not him. He's a nonce. I'll give you a grand old round of applause. Much nicer than a Duke of York. Okay, so Trump tried to cheat the map, and California sharpened the pencil and redrew the battlefield. Pennsylvania, Supreme Court secured, so Democrats retain the court majority, crucial in battlefield state where voting rules get challenged. This is a quiet win with enormous implications. Pennsylvania, preemptive defense against Trump's legal shenanigans that he is carrying out. Pennsylvania voters basically installed the antivirus software for the democracy in their state. Maine rejected voter ID suppression. This was an anti-voter ballot measure that was shot down. Voters rejected the GOP's vote fraud, hysteria narrative. And this was seen as an expansion of democratic rights, not a constriction. And it was a simple message. Stop making it harder for people to vote just because your party sucks at winning, Republicans. And and Maine said, look, this is in Florida. Not having your Jim Crow fucking cosplay shit up here. What this means for Trump is 1 year into his term, public are already fed up. Trump is backing losers again. His communist attacks fell flat. Threat and intimidation didn't work against voters who, can smell weakness like sharks smelling blood in the water. Trump's blood. The civil war in this GOP is incoming, and this should be fun to watch. Get the popcorn out. The Democrats are now emboldened. Progressives and moderates are both getting wins here, so it's not either or. Maybe we could have both. Maybe we can have both. And in 2026, midterms are shaping up as a referendum on the Trump authoritarian overreach. And I hope they get absolutely annihilated. I hope that the Republicans wake up in the morning dead in a ditch, to be honest with you. And democracy isn't saved by any stretch of the imagination. Trump can still do a bunch of fucking horrible stuff in the next 3 years, and he will. But last night, democracy punched back. It punched back, and it showed that Trump is beatable. He's not invincible. Persuasion, turnout, policy, they turned it into wins. And Trump is now, on the back foot. He'll be raging all today, be blaming everyone but himself. And, a bully always looks the most ridiculous when they lose. Last night, Trump looked even more fucking ridiculous than he already does. So there you go. Like and subscribe, etc. Like and subscribe for more. What time is it? It's 10 o'clock on the knocker. Look at that. Bringing it in. 10 o'clock on the knocker. Thank you. But we are going to go into the papers quickly because we have got PMQs later today at 12 o'clock. And then we've got the rabbit hole with me and Rach at 6 o'clock tonight. So I'm going to go over to the papers very quickly. Very, very quickly. A nice advert there for some radiators. We've got Dick Cheney, who's dead. Woohoo! Not supposed to do that, are you? Don't give a fuck. He's dead. Glad he's dead. He's a gobshite. Former vice president who championed US intervention, dead at 84. And then we've got Reeves paves way to break promise on income tax. So this is kind of an interesting story. Oh, welcome. You are awesome. I didn't mean for that animation to come up. It just did. You are all awesome. You're all welcome and you're all awesome. So let's get into this. Raves? Is she having raves? Is Reeves having raves? I don't know. She Reeves paves. No, Reeves peeves. Way to break promise on income tax. Chancellor warns MPs on cost of debt. Border shoulders should pay the most. Pay the most. So this was yesterday morning. Rachel Reeves gave a press conference, which they should do every fucking morning. So it wasn't like an exceptional thing. And it was basically the first 5 pages of the script to the budget, which is usually overlooked when the report into the budget comes out. So she was basically setting the ground. She's opened the door for a manifesto breaking income tax rise, as she also strongly hinted that businesses would have to pay more in tax in what she insisted would be a fair budget. Well, there you go. And there we go. Got there. Twatty old Dick there, who's no longer one of us. UAE in the spotlight over alleged role in Sudan war, which I was talking about last night in Geoscope. That's on the front cover of the Financial Times here. Obviously, they were listening to me. Compulsory financial literacy classes as part of England curriculum overhaul. Financial education will become compulsory for all primary and secondary school pupils in England as part of an overhaul of the curriculum that aims to equip students with the skills they need to navigate the modern world. Which I think is a good idea, because I think it's absolutely fucking bonkers that kids at the age of 16 are still doing fucking algorithms and algebra. And I'm like, no, they don't need to learn algebra. They don't, unless they're doing maths, further maths. Yeah, that's a separate GCSE. That's fine. They can put that on the further maths one, right? They can put that in the GCSEs. They can put that in the degree. They can put that in the masters. They can put that in the fucking PhD, all right? If that's what you want to do. It should not be in the GCSE. And I know someone in the chat's going to go, but I love maths and I find algorithms really easy. Sorry, algebra, not algorithms, Jesus. I find Al Gore really easy. I find Alderon. I find Alderon a very explodable planet. No, algebra, no, stop it. Stop. Shakespeare for kids. Like I had a chat with Phil the other day about Shakespeare because he doesn't like Shakespeare. As I do, but I don't think that kid should be studying it for GCSE. Like, what the fuck? What has it got to do with us right now? Like, seriously, like, if you're going to do English literature for A-level, as I did, fine. Study Coriolanus. Study all the Coriolanuses that you like. Get a torch, open up the Coriolanus, and really investigate the Coriolanus to see what you can find in the Coriolanus. That's fine. I don't mind. Go with God, right? I don't give a shit, right? But for GCSE students, no. Just no. Can you read and write? Yeah. Okay, good. Right, we're going to test you on that. Yep, you can read and write. There you go. Have a fucking A star with a fucking gold star and a fucking jelly baby. I don't give a fuck, right? The fact that we are doing algebra, the fact that we are doing Shakespeare in schools, it smacks of the privilege of Cummings and Gove, both private schoolboys who wrote this national curriculum and brought in this daft system of numbers. So we have one grading system for GCSE, which is 1 to 9. We have another grading system for A levels, which is A star to F. U, I think, is the lowest thing unclassified. And then you've got another grading system when you go to university, which is your first, second upper class, second lower class, third fail. And then you got a different grading system for everything else. It's just stupid. Just keep it to ABCs. Like, it's nice and easy, right? What did you get? I got an A. Okay, good. Caranola, thank you very much for the $5 of $8. Thank you. Mamdani, hearts on fire, said the unfixed parts of New York produced Trump. Great words. Now that is some serious truth social. Love it, Caranola. That is fucking brilliant. The unfixed parts of New York produced Trump. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. Anyway, so reminds me of the wise words of my ancient history teacher. Alexander the Great sent scouts to his back passage to make sure it was clear. Hey, make sure that is. I was dancing my tits off on a podium 39 years ago. Self might say. Okay, that's really random. I love it when people have conversations with each other in the chat, and I just jump in with my size 10s and just like read a random message and it makes no sense. I absolutely love it. Keep going, everyone. I was taught algebra towards the end of primary school. Well, it's bollocks. Right. You might as well fucking study cryptic crosswords. The worst one for me, right? And I probably don't mean to upset anyone by saying this, but Christian indoctrination. Right. I think they call it RE in school, but it's Christian indoctrination. It's like, oh yeah, why don't we learn about this fairy story from the Bronze Age? Okay. So many kids in this country have to do RE for GCSE. They get no choice in the matter. So they waste a good portion of their time that they could be learning stuff that helps them in life. Learning how to read, learning how to write, learning how to spot subtext, learning how to, add up, divide, multiply, work with percentages, understand how interest works and compound interest and the difference between that. Don't lend money off a loan shark with compound interest because this is what's going to happen. Do the whole thing with 1 grain of rice on a chessboard, and it's 2 on the next on one square, and then 2 on the next square, 4 on the next square, 8 on the next square. Keep doubling till you get to the 64th square. There's not enough grains of rice in the universe. All this stuff, right? Yeah, great. I mean, do all that, right? Do all that. Don't learn fairy stories from the fucking Bronze Age. Here are the fairy stories that people believed in 2,000 years ago, when mankind asked himself the most difficult questions. Mankind, we didn't ask the women. We asked mankind the most difficult question. Where do we come from? How did we get here? What happens after you die? And the answer was a wizard did it. A magic man. A man who looks like us, who's magic and lives in the sky, did it. That was the answer that they came up with in the Bronze Age. And kids have to learn that. Why? Why? I don't understand. I understand perhaps studying cultures, studying different creeds and religions to some extent in geography, maybe. You're gonna have a geography lesson today about India. And the majority of people in India, not all of them, but the majority of people in India are Hindus. So you're not going to be able to get a hamburger anywhere, If you do, it's probably going to be made of chicken. Or beans. That'll do. That'll do. Yeah. God. But then again, I'm not a teacher, so I shouldn't be telling you what should be in the national curriculum. But then again, neither was that dickhead, Michael Gove, or the dickhead, Dominic Cummings, who said he was just testing his eyes. He was just testing his motherfucking eyes. Here's the Times. Reeves lays groundwork for 70s-style tax increase. First income tax increase in 50 years, I think it would be. There's David Beckham, and he looks very smug. Look at his smug face. And I like Victoria. I've got no beef with them. I always like them from the fact that they did that interview for Comic Relief. Do you remember this with Ali G, right? So Sacha Baron Cohen when he was doing his Ali G thing, and she looks a bit like Morticia Adams there, isn't she? She's rocking the Morticia look. I like that. And it was not long after the baby Brooklyn had been born, and he said to Victoria, how's your little man doing? Is he stringing sentences together yet? And she goes, yeah, he is. And he looks at David Beckham and he looks back at Victoria. He says, well, what about Brooklyn? That's one of my favourite Ali G lines. The other one is about, 72 virgins in heaven and pointing out that all the virgins he knows are minging. That is why they is virgins. Classic. Anyway, so pupils learn how to find truth in age of conspiracy. The curriculum should teach children how to tackle conspiracy theories, reflect the diversity of society, and embed climate change in geography and science. A year-long review has concluded. Couldn't agree more. Top lawyer blew expenses on private jets and yacht parties. One of Britain's most prominent lawyers has been ousted from his firm amid allegations of expenses misuse involving yachts, helicopters, and private jets. Thomas Goodhead, who has headed two of the largest class actions in English legal history, representing 1.5 million motorists in a Dieselgate claim and up to 700,000 Brazilians in a claim against the devastating collapse of a dam, left Potgust Goodhead in unexpected circumstances in the summer. So let's have a look. Thomas Goodhead. Do you think he grew up on a council estate? I mean, I'd love that to be the case. I would absolutely love it if he he was he attempted to stand as a Conservative Party candidate. Wow. He's the great nephew of Honora Bevan. Well, there you go. One's in the family, I guess. But he's a Tory. He's not Labour. And he co-founded SPG Law in Special Patrol Group. Is that what SPG stands for? That's the name of Vivian's hamster in The Young Ones, isn't it? Or his guinea pig or something. Liverpool. Oh, cool. So there you go. I don't know what school he went to, though. Maybe he's here. Global Managing Partner and CEO, Thomas Goodhead. That's definitely him. I've got some mutual connections with him. That's kind of embarrassing. Wow. 6 degrees of separation. That's all I can say. Let's have a look at his school. Oh, no, I don't think he went to private school. Oh, my word. Oh, wow. Private listed. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a private school, though, does it? It's the Blaseg School in Newport, South Wales. I've been to Newport. Cool place. It's a comp. He went to a comp. Okay, right. Sorry, everyone. Sorry for taking you down that rabbit hole. I thought it would. I prefer the privately educated David and Victoria. David Beckham and Victoria Beckham didn't go to private school. They didn't go to private school. I don't know. Anyway, so there they are. Anyway, I do like that. That picture is kind of cool. That is a cool picture. Whatever you feel about the Beckhams, I'm not a Beckham hater by any stretch of the imagination. I'm big fan of the Spice Girls. Although he played for the Red Shite in Manchester, he seems like an alright guy. He seems like his heart's in the right place. I suppose he gets a lot of shit. Doesn't he? Because he's famous and good looking. Anyway, so there you go. That's them two having fun. We'll move on now to the Daily Fail. Another day in Starmer's socialist paradise. It says, I hate this. Reeves waffle bomb. The speech was all bluster and lies, but one thing is clear. Every striver in the land is about to clobbered for a risible incompetence. Striver. This is from Andrew Neil, privately educated, of course, writing about strivers. And wrecking education. Labour dumbs down schools. Exams cut but focus on diversity and climate change. Yes. These stories about education are making me happy. I might have to do a whole show on like, okay, yeah, I welcome that. What, you're going to be taught about how to spot bullshit on the internet? Fucking brilliant. Are you going to be taught how to deal with day-to-day finances? Fucking brilliant. Are you going to be shown that climate change is fucking real and we need to do fucking something about the fucking thing? Yes, brilliant. Good stuff. Focus on diversity. Fantastic. So smash the fash. Smash the fash. And you do that through education. The smarter you are, the less likely you are to be a fash. Fact. Reeves poised to raise income tax and break 50-year taboo. I love the word taboo. Isn't taboo just a fantastic fucking word? Taboo. Oh, great. It just sounds good in my mouth. Do you know what I mean? Like Azerbaijan. Taboo. Certain words just sound really fucking good. Tolkien thought that cellar door was the best sounding words in the English language. Cellar door. I think there's a production company in the UK called Celador, spelled Celador. And I think that came from Tolkien saying that was the best. But this is a man who decided that the elfish word for friend should be melon. Melon. You're like a melon. So yeah, guy was a genius, you know. And bend the knee like Beckham, it says on the front cover of the Mirror there on the right. And then we've got make it fair, Rachel, plea after tax rise hint. And then we've got how England's Lionesses turned on Mary Earps, the former goalie for the Lionesses. Daniel Day-Lewis, madness in the method. Daniel Day-Lewis obviously went to private school. And then we've got the Prince of Wales there, who is, I don't know, he seems to be fucking drowning, I think. I don't know what's happening there. And we've got heads should roll over BBC bias. Everyone will have to pay more, warns Reeves. Beckham reveals King in his style icon. For King is his style icon. I think he was just making that up. 5-year-olds to be taught on climate change. This is a tiny story here. And then Bitcoin dives over fear AI bubble will burst, something I've been saying for a long time. And then we've got pennies for the bad guy. Remember, low tax this November. It's not me, it's you. Reeves gets a rocket. Rach sparks tax rise fury. And the first pick of the hero on the train, who is a man of Indian descent. And that fried the noodles of gammons everywhere, which is a beautiful thing. I love frying the noodles of gammons. Reeves is just blaming everyone else for chaos. Well, I think the Tories were in charge for 14 years, so you can't blame them for a bit longer. Brave Sam's always been our hero. This is the gravely injured railway worker, Samir Zitroni. And he's been praised for saving many passengers' lives, by standing in the way of an attacker with a knife. We've got Fam Jansen up here. I come from a background of strong women. She's a Bond lady, isn't she? And she also didn't she play Phoenix? What's her name? Jean Grey. I think she played Jean Grey, didn't she? NHS bearing brunt of ugly racism, warns Streeting. He's right, but he's also wrong, because he's a wrong 'un. He's right, but he's a wrong un. Can we say that? He's right about, people in the NHS having to deal with this shit. But yeah, it's really grim. It's really grim, and needs to be tackled. Violence against any public-facing person, whatever their job is disgusting. But like doubly so when their job is saving people's fucking lives. Wow. But people are so fucking entitled, especially the people who voted for Brexit and the people who vote for Nigel Farage. They're just horrible people. They just really are fucking horrible people. They just are. They just fucking are. Anyway, so God, it's bonfire night. Have to get my air purifier out to avoid asthma attack tonight. Oh, that's not fun, is it, Mr. Tusk? Increasing the tax rate should come as a result of rejoining the single market, not an excuse for making Brexit work. Yeah, and rubber baby buggy bumpers, says Acro Dave. Absolutely. Celador was mentioned in the movie Donnie Darko. Yeah, I was thinking about that when I said it. There was a teacher played by Drew Barrymore, was it? He played the teacher in Donnie Darko. But I think it had something to do with the Graham Greene short story. And is that why Celador is in Donnie Darko? Yeah, I believe it was Tolkien who said it. He said it was the best words in the English language was Celador. Celador. Because if you dissociate it from it meaning in our language, Yeah, Salvador does sound pretty good. Just not quite as good as Azerbaijan. You're never going to beat Azerbaijan in my book. It's just the greatest name for anything ever. I think I might get myself a pet, like a guinea pig or a dog or a cat or a snake, and call it Azerbaijan. It's just a great name. Anyway, so that's it for the morning. I'm going to be back at 12 o'clock. Jeez. Might have a kip for half an hour. I've not had any breakfast yet. Jesus Christ. But thank you very much for staying up with me all last night. Some of yous who were there all through the night. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Thank you for everyone who's joined us this morning. Thank you for attaining the target of 10 out of 10. This one goes up to 11. Thank you very much for that. And, thanks for being just genuinely fucking awesome. And watching this channel and supporting this channel and not fighting and just being nice and not being a troll, and just thank you. Shine on, you crazy diamonds. Just keep on keeping on. Really appreciate it. And I really appreciate you. Hope to see you at 12. If not, I might see you tonight for Anything But Politics show with me and Rach, which is called The Rabbit Hole. And we will be diving down the rabbit hole together. If not, see you tomorrow. Same time, same back channel here on The Morning Brew on Politics Social. Until then, I'll say thank you so much for watching. Oh, by the way, me and Ollie are going to do a special reform watch tomorrow at 6 o'clock. So watch out for that. We've got a lot to get through with what the shit that refuck have been doing around the country. So please look out for that. Please hit the what's it called? Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell notification icon. Even if you're subscribed, hit the bell notification icon, and you will get a little buzz in your pocket to let you know that we're going to go online. Okay, so my favorite word, evolution. That's from One Angry Pagan. The moderates are revolting. What do we want? Incremental change. When do we want it? In due course. Ha, those crazy evolutionists. Okay, thanks very much for watching. And until next time, hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.